Okay, we've got Josh Scruggs that I want to introduce to you guys. You guys have probably seen him in some of our videos, but he just moved in from Ohio, what, 3 weeks ago? Yeah. And he is doing a lot of tech work here at the shop. He actually had a shop in Virginia that he was working on. You were there, what, 3 years? And yeah. He decided that, well, we recruited him basically and gave him an opportunity to come to Firepunk, so we are excited to have him on board. He is actually the guy who bought my old Pro Street truck. And a couple things about Josh is that he comes with more tools than the Snap-on man, which we'll show you later. And he's a good, hard-working man. So, I don't know, what can you tell me about yourself?
Stay busy.
Stay busy. Where do you come from?
Virginia. Mount Jackson.
Tell them a little bit about your shop and what you did there and what motivated you or what you're excited about for working at Firepunk.
Basically, we did a little bit of everything there. Duramax, Ford, Dodge, gas, big trucks, didn't really matter. I'm mainly excited to get to learn transmission work.
Cool, well, we're excited to have him on board, and now I guess we have somebody here that knows how to work on Chevys and Fords, even though I'm not going to tell anybody because I like to just work on what I know. But it is good to have somebody that's on board that he's got a really broad range of skills, from anything from big truck to cars to all brands. So we look forward to seeing him succeed here at Firepunk, and you guys will see him around at the races, racing Pro Street. This is still his engine. His sponsors, we're going to support him in transmission parts and pieces as he needs it, but like BD sponsors the valve body and converters, and Industrial Injection built the motor in this truck, so we're letting him run his own, promote himself in that sense, but Firepunk is going to be supporting him, and we hope that we can keep that truck successful in the Pro Street class. Okay, I wanted to introduce you guys Andy Roby. He is the guy that has been taking over the phones for customer service and operations service. So if you're calling Firepunk, you're asking for customer service, this is the smiling face you get. He's such a smiling beauty with his soft serve ice cream haircut, and it's everything great. But no, a little bit about Andy. I'm going to let him introduce himself. Tell us a little bit about you and what you do here at Firepunk.
So my name is Andy Roby. Basically, if you call me or if you hit 210, I will answer the phone. I can either do scheduling, basically customer service, I can sell parts, anything like that. Basically, anything you need, I can help you with. And then basically what I do is, I'm not in the truck world. This is all new to me, so I am learning quite a bit in the trucks. I actually do more of cars. So I actually have a Pro Charge C7 that I do a lot of racing with. I don't do anything trucks. So
how fast is it?
It's mildly fast. It did make over 1,000 wheel, so it's quick. It's not fast, but it is quick. I still get beat on all the time around here, so don't let them fool you. But yeah, if you call extension 210, I can do any kind of scheduling and or customer service or sales.
Yeah, we are looking forward to having him on the phones. We're moving Rick. Rick is going to be on extension 207 still. He's going to be focusing more on our dealer sales and sales only. We've been training Andy on anteater parts, just customer service stuff, that way we can give more help. We have a lot of people who call and say, hey, we can't get hold of Firepunk today or something like that. I mean, we have 4 guys that are full-time answering the phone, so we are here for you. If we're not getting answered, it's not because we're ignoring you, it's because we're busy. Yeah. So that's what we're doing, is we're staffing up. Andy's been around local. He's been coming with us to diesel events for a long time, so it's not like he's a stranger to the diesel stuff. He just doesn't personally have one. He's got a fast vet. So here he is, and give him a call anytime you need him, extension 207. He'll be glad to help. Okay, we've got Chris Bear's 2.5 truck on the dyno. This is a truck that has been doing really well, but he's wanting to put it on the dyno, see what power it's making, and see if we can squeeze any more out of it. We just took a quick data log after we backed it on the dyno, and it's idling at max rail pressure. So I'm commanding 9,000 psi at idle, and it's actually making 26,000 psi. So we're going to diagnose that, try to figure out what's going on. It does have a dual CP3 controller on it. I don't think it's a dual CP3 controller because rail pressure does come down to like 25 at idle. If you idle it up to 1,000, it maxes out the sensor. So we're going to start by changing the top FCA, which is a Duramax FCA. We're going to put a 5.9 Cummins FCA on it, see if we can fix that problem, and then we're going to go ahead and dyno it. This truck has 185% over injectors, 2 stock CP3s. It's pretty much a stock long block with stock cam, stock bottom end, stock head, and a Bullseye 2.5 charger. So this is an automatic truck, high stall converter. We will see what it makes, and we'll go from there. Okay, we got Chris's truck broken. We broke the flex plate, pretty sure. The second pole, we made some turbo adjustments, checked for boost leaks. We had rail pressure issues that we got under control. And in the stabilized time, it was looking like it was making about 100 to 150 horsepower more than it was before because it was just starting the run. And looks like the flex plate let loose because RPMs went to the moon, 4,700 RPM, and now it rattles and does not engage the rear tires. So pretty sure it's spun the center out of the flex plate. So he's going to take this home and tear the trans out of it, see what's actually broke, fix it, and bring it back, and we'll continue this another day. That's my I can't reach it bench. Okay, we put a 6.7 rail pressure sensor in it so that we could run more than 26,000 psi rail pressure, and that picked us up like a little over 20 horsepower. But we were tripping the relief valve. We see a couple spots where rail pressure went from 28,000 and dipped down to 19,000. So we're going to put a Exergy 2200 bar relief valve in, and that should fix that problem. This is the stock relief valve, and this is the 2200 bar relief. They just modify the spring rate in here to where it takes more pressure before it relieves. So this will still protect the injectors from pressure spikes. If you're chopping off the throttle, the pumps are wide open, this will still relieve the pressure, but it lets us run the 28,000 psi we're asking for without it tripping the relief valve. Okay, we just finished dyno tuning Chris Bear's truck. This is a 2.5 truck that's limited to 150 thou map width groove. We actually tore up a flex plate on the dyno yesterday. It had a stock flex plate in it, and the second run yesterday I ripped the center right out of it. So we put it on the lift and let Chris use the lift, and he pulled the trans out and changed the flex plate. And so we're back at it today. But we started the run yesterday at 737 horsepower, and we found a couple issues that we could capitalize on, and we ended up with putting a 6.7 rail pressure sensor in it. We ended up adjusting the turbo map width groove. It's got an adjustable one. They can, it was pretty tight, so we set it out to the maximum 150 thou map width groove, and that picked up from 737 to 815 horsepower. And then we went from a 5.9 rail pressure sensor to a 6.7 rail pressure sensor, and that picked up like 22 horsepower. So that just the added pressure gave enough more fuel quantity that we could pick up some extra power. So we wrapping up today at 841 horsepower. Really, we're turbo limited. We're maxed out on fuel, and this is 185% over, so this fuel quantity should be enough to do 1,100 horsepower. So this is something that if he wants more power, he's going to look at some different turbo options. But overall, we made good progress. We added a 150 psi map sensor so that we can see real boost in the data log. So he'll be able to go pull, send me a data log. I'll be able to see how much actual boost he makes, whereas the stock factory map sensor limits you to only reading to 37 psi. and we went to the 6.7 rail pressure sensor, so now we can command 28,000 psi, which we can do that. We do that for competition vehicles. Generally, do not do that for street vehicles because it is harder on the injectors to run that on a daily basis. But on a puller, you still get a couple years out of your injectors, no problem. So we've got that all lined out, and we're going to send him down the road. He has about 100 horsepower gain at 3,000 RPM, so that should really help when the sled hits and it pulls the RPMs down, that it will not fall off the turbo as quickly. So hopefully this will step up his game and he'll pick up a couple extra feet the next time he goes hooking. Alright, we have Josh Gibson's 2004 manual truck on the dyno. Has 150% injectors, 2 stock fuelers with a CP3 splitter, and a Tater 6767. We had sent him tunes remotely, and he was having a cutout issue around 4,000 RPM, and we weren't able to get it figured out doing it remotely, so he came in to get it on the dyno. So we will run it, try to get it cut out, and see if we can figure out the issue. Alright, we were able to get Josh's truck figured out. It ended up being one of the limiters in the tune file. A limiter that normally has no effect on the truck. Some of the early trucks, each truck is a little bit different, but we were able to finally get it figured out. Came in starting at 844 horsepower with cutting out at 4,000 RPM, and we ended up with 873 horsepower with it fueling all the way to 4,500 RPM. So we'll get him off the dyno and send him on the way.